abdominal tuberculosis. So this disease is going to be spreading to every part of the abdomen. So which are all the different parts of the abdomen? There will be presence of peritoneum is going to be present along with the omentum, and lining the intestine there will be mesentery will be present, and certainly intestines. Along with that there will be presence of anorectosigmoidal region, right? So these are the four types of abdominal TB which is going to be present. Out of this, Ileo-caecal TB, which is going to belong to intestinal TB, is the most common one. And remember that this is the sixth most common extrapulmonary TB. Okay, so coming to the classification of this Ileo-caecal type of TB. So this can be classified as either it can be primary intestinal TB or it can be secondary intestinal TB. So in case of primary, it is also called as TB mesenterica, okay, and where there will be presence of Gons focus and all those things. Coming to the second intestinal TB, this can further divide into ulcerative type, hyperplastic type, and ulcero-hyperplastic type. In case of ulcerative type, what is going to be present? Of course, there will be presence of napkin ring strictures with presence of bowel adhesions will be present. And in case of hyperplastic type of TB, there will be presence of fibrosis of peritoneum with thickening of the cecal walls are going to be present. That is very important. So coming to the pathogenesis of this disease, as you know, TB is going to be caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, right? So this disease is going to be very commonly associated with what? TB is very commonly associated with HIV, right? So let's discuss why only ileocecal valve is most commonly involved in case of abdominal TB. So there are mainly four reasons why this happens. So the first reason is that there is liquid content passing through this ileocecal valve, and second, the luminal content is going to be facing most stresses in this region, and because of the presence of Peyer's patches and minimal digestive activity take place here. So how does this TB spread? Either it is going to be spread through ingestion or it is going to be spread through the hematogenous route from the pulmonary TB it is going to spread. These are the most common ones by which it is going to spread. There are other ways also, but remember at least these two. Coming to the morphology of the intestinal TB. So the mass that is going to be present for any kind of surgical morphology, I am going to state it in 10 points. So A point is whether it is unilateral or bilateral. B is size. I am going to comment about not the size. I am going to comment upon the color. And C is I am going to comment upon the size and shape of the mass. And D is I am going to comment about surface and consistency. E is for the margin and extent of the mass. F is for tenderness and if there is any presence of induration. G is for if there is any fluctuance or mobility of the mass, and H is for the presence of compressibility or reducibility. I is for the presence of translumination is there or not, and finally J is if there is any lymph node involvement or if it's any other miscellaneous criteria characteristics are there will be mentioned here. So in case of abdominal TB, remember that the mass is going to be hard. The hard surface of the mass is going to be hard and is going to be nodular in consistency. It is going to be non-tender, that is even if you touch it, the person is not going to feel the pain and is not going to be mobile also. Okay, so coming to the microscopic, of course there will be presence of Langerhans cells and epithelioid cells, and with the presence of caseating necrosis will be present, right? So coming to the symptoms in TB, as you know, the symptoms in the TB are evening rise on temperature, night sweats, hemoptysis, cough for more than 14 days. All such are some of the most important symptoms of the TB. So how do you diagnose this condition? So first we want to look if there is a pulmonary TB also is present or not. For that we are going to go with chest X-ray, Mantoux test and all will perform. And finally to confirm for the abdominal TB we are going to do the most easiest and direct method, that is barium study will be done. In barium study what are you going to find? The first thing you are going to find is the presence of goose neck deformity because of the straightening of the ileocecal region. There will be, since there is obstruction that is taking place, the proximal part to the obstruction, that is the ileum which is going to present, is going to show dilation. So it is called as mega ileum. Okay, and then there will be hypersegmentation of the intestine is also going to be present. Since there is obstruction, of course there will be presence of increased transit time will also be present. And remember, if there is presence of ascitic fluid in the abdominal TB, if you aspirate it, there will be more proteins and decreased sag ratio will be present, which indicates that this is going to be an exudative type of fluid usually. So coming to the treatment, you know that the medical line of treatment is RHZE regimen, and only if there is presence of complications we are going to do what is called as limited ileocecal resection. So what are the complications? Remember, in any case, the general complications include there will be hemorrhage can take place, obstruction can occur, there can be perforation can occur, or it can give rise to abscess. So here in case of TB, you know that it is going to cause cold abscess will be formed, and since there is obstruction that is taking place, it is also going to cause blind lobe syndrome and malabsorption syndrome.